Today's tutorial is going to be a smoky red eyeshadow look. I'm going to start from the beginning, show you all the steps from putting on the primer all the way to the lip gloss at the end. So actually the tutorial is going to be not just the smoky eye, but just the overall look. Enjoy! The primer I'm using today is from Sephora. This primer is actually very matte and very dry. Once you put the foundation on, it doesn't really move. It's not good for a normal liquid foundation, but today I'm using a spray foundation, so it will work perfect with. This concealer palette is from Makeup Forever. I'm going to use it underneath the foundation. What's really great about this palette is it's versatile. You can use it over the top of your foundation or underneath. I'm just using the darkest shade, which is probably about a shade higher than my normal foundation. And I'm just doing it underneath the eyes to lessen the puffiness that I have. I'm using my index finger so that I use the finger that has the least amount of strength so that I try to just be very gentle underneath that eye area. Air Flash by Dior is one of my favorite foundations. I'm wearing a shower cap, and that is just to keep the overspray from getting in my hair. You won't be able to see it, but you could feel it. This is in a 300, and you just want to do it in a Z formation, Z all the way down. Next, take a high definition foundation brush, and I just go through and I buff everything out because there are some areas that get a little bit more buildup with the air spray. Just buff it out. Then I have here a MAC. It's just a medium pressed powder that I'm going to go and I'm going to set the foundation. You don't need very much. The coverage on the foundation is excellent, but I just go through and make sure that I'm really just setting the foundation. And it also continues to kind of buff the two together, so it's just a very natural, finished, flawless look. MAC Paint Pot in Bare Steady. I use this for a lot of the foundations. It's a primer, eye primer. I use this for the foundation of most of the things that I do. It does have a little bit of a shimmer, and a lot of the looks that I do have a slight shimmer anyhow, so it just goes perfectly. You can actually wear this by itself if you wanted to. I know it looks a little washed out in the video, but in real life, it's very stunning. The first eyeshadow I'm going to apply is a light shimmer. It's by Bobbi Brown. It's one I got during the holidays. You just have to find something that is comparable in another brand or see if they have something that resembles it. I just go through and I take a very loose, soft brush and just dust the eyelids very heavily. Again, you can't really see the contrast in the video, but in person, you definitely see it and it looks really great in natural lighting. And here comes the red. I'm using a cheap, it's I think NYC red. The way that I apply, I typically go in really tight circular motions. I start out building the color. So I put a little bit on and then try to really just expand that because you can always add more color depending on how much you want to do. But once you throw a big glob on, you can't take it away and you just end up with this, you know, big mess on your eyelid. So I start out with a little bit and just move it around a lot on my eye until I get the look and the space that I want to work with, and then I can go back later and add additional color to the eyelid. To give this look some depth, I'm going to combine two dark, kind of like a mauve and a brown. This is from an old MAC palette. As you can see, it's gotten lots of use. And I'm going to just stay kind of in the crease and on the corners. And this is just going to deepen the look and give it some dimension and a little bit more depth so it's not just a straight red, look. I use the same method with the brown as I did the red, where I just add a little bit. I kind of initially dot it on to where I want to start, and then again use circular motions trying to expand that and add additional color as I needed, going back and forth. I went back to the red and I am just dabbing on now red back over the top of that to really just, re-emphasize the red so the brown doesn't take over. This line creator, oh my gosh, has been like my best friend. I've used a lot of different eyeliners, some of them smudge, or there's different eyeshadows that I want, and I've just used just the basic eyeshadow. They end up kind of falling or fading by the end of the look. This stuff is awesome. Aveda has one also that's just a clear. The one that I'm using has kind of a gold shimmer to it. And what you do is you take your favorite eyeshadow, you do a little dab of that, and you mix the two together. And it creates a waterproof eyeliner. So I'm going to take my brush. I'm going to use the sharpest edge on the outside, and as I come to the inside, I'm going to flip it, just to keep that really sharp point. Now, initially, I'm going to be doing this just in the red. I'm going to do the top eyelid on both sides. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the bottom. Just trying to keep it real simple. I'm not trying to go too dark. Just little light brush strokes on both sides, because you can always add more, but you don't want to do too much. As you go back and forth, your brush will dry up. You will need to at times reapply some more of that line creator, and obviously go in for another dip of eyeshadow. You probably aren't going to see a lot of me doing that throughout this process, but I am doing it like on the sidelines, on the down low. And you'll know, once the brush is kind of getting dry, it means you need more line creator and you need more of the other. I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the brown on the eyeshadow. I'm actually going to add some of that darkest brown back over the top of the red eyeliner, just to give it, again, some depth, some dimension, so it's not just this straight red. That red by itself, if you're very fair-skinned, looks great, but with my more copper tones, I need to kind of reintroduce some of that brown right back into it to make the look actually work for me. I'm going to take a little bit of white. This has a slight shimmer to it. It's not a matte white. And I'm going to just put that underneath the eyebrow line. Going a little fast there, but you just want to kind of just highlight that and just make it pop. My economy version of an eyebrow brush is a toothbrush. So just kind of getting all the leftover dust from the other makeups that I put on there. And then I'm going to take that basic same brown eyeshadow and go over and just highlight the eyebrows so that that pulls them back out away from all of the foundation and just the washed out look. So it just brings them back to the front. Apply your favorite mascara. This one has been really great. I think it's Lash DNA by Benefit. It's been really, really awesome. When I do my bottom lashes, I kind of do it in an X, if that makes any sense. I start out on the outside and I go inward in one direction. Once I get to the inner part of my eye, then I go the opposite direction. So I'm going, in the shape of an X. And then after I've done that, I kind of go straight down and bring them all together. But that's just trying to get mascara on the left and the right side so that they look fuller. And again, going straight down afterwards to bring them down. I'm going to be using two different blushes. The first one is a rose, and I'm just trying to add some of that pink kind of reddish tone so that it ties the whole look together. And I'm just going to go really heavy on the cheekbones in a just traditional kind of blush application. The second one is more of a bronzer. And because this look can tend to look a little washed out as far as the foundation, I'm going back through and just kind of contouring some of the areas in the nose, bringing some color back to the forehead and along the jawline, and then just kind of blending it all over the top of the rose blush that I already did. I don't have much on the end of my brush. I know it looks like I'm going a little crazy with it, but it's just a very light application, and I'm just doing a lot of strokes just to blend everything in. I've been a huge fan of lip stains for lip liners. Unfortunately, most of the lip stains that I've used, this one's a cheap one by CoverGirl. I've used some others that are more high-end. As soon as you add gloss, it no longer is a stain. It becomes a transferable lip color just like anything else. But it is a pretty easy thing to use just as a lip liner. And I've got them in a variety of colors. They're great to use for that. I'm adding somewhat of a coral, kind of orangish lipstick over the top of the lip liner, and then just a light nude Napoleon gloss over the top just to kind of finish it. seal in the deal and just make it look really fresh and sweet and, not too heavy, obviously, since the eyes are the focal point. And voila, there you have it. Look completed in real time, probably about 5 to 7 minutes, I'd say. Typically, after I've pulled my hair down, then I can get a better idea of, what really the shading of the blush that I've already applied looks like. Obviously, I decided that I needed a little bit more depth with my hair down, and, obviously you can do that if you'd like. Thank you for joining me, and please don't forget to subscribe. I want to make a correction. The mascara is not by Benefit, it's by Smashbox. DNA by Smashbox. I added a few actual photos. This is of a similar look that I did. Obviously, you can see that the eyeliner and the overall look is different, but this is just to depict the color red that I was actually using that the video quality didn't really pick up on.